A watch is one of the few objects in the world that hasn't lost its purpose, yet somehow, it has become so much more than just a tool. It tells time, yes, but it also tells a story of craftsmanship, of status, of technology, of identity. From a simple $10 digital watch to mechanical masterpieces worth more than a house, watches exist in a world where function and emotion collide. Today, we're not just looking at watches, we're exploring the entire universe behind them. The history, the engineering, and the subtle details that separate something ordinary from something extraordinary. Because once you understand watches, you never look at them the same way again. We begin with the most common and perhaps the most misunderstood type of watch, the quartz watch. At first glance, it feels almost too simple. You buy it, you wear it, and it just works. No winding, no effort, just precision. But inside, something remarkable is happening. A tiny quartz crystal vibrates at an incredibly consistent frequency when powered by a battery. These vibrations are converted into electrical pulses, driving the movement of the hands with near-perfect accuracy. This is why quartz watches became so dominant. They didn't just enter the market, they disrupted it. In the 1970s, during what many call the quartz revolution, traditional watchmakers were forced to rethink everything, as battery-powered precision suddenly became cheap and accessible. Quartz watches are affordable, reliable, and incredibly precise. But that same perfection is also their limitation. Because while quartz watches excel at telling time, they lack something deeper, something human. There's no craftsmanship to admire, no intricate dance of parts, just efficiency. And for many people, that's enough. But for others, watches are not just about timekeeping. They're about art. This brings us into the world of mechanical watches. Unlike quartz, these watches are powered entirely by physical movement. No batteries, no electronics. Just gears, springs, and centuries of engineering knowledge passed down through generations. At the heart of every mechanical watch is a tightly wound spring. As it slowly unwinds, it releases energy through a series of gears, controlled by an escapement, a tiny mechanism that ticks back and forth with mesmerizing precision. That ticking sound isn't just a sound. It's the heartbeat of the watch. It's not just engineering, it's poetry in motion. There are two main expressions of this idea. The first is the manual watch. Here, the wearer becomes part of the process. You win the crown yourself, feeling the resistance, knowing that every turn is storing energy inside the watch. It's intentional, personal, almost ritualistic. There's a quiet satisfaction in knowing that if you stop, the watch stops too. The second is the automatic watch. Instead of relying on your hands, it relies on your movement. A small rotor inside spins as you move your wrist throughout the day, winding the spring continuously. In a way, the watch becomes an extension of you, alive as long as you are moving. This is the world where brands like Rolex built their legacy, not just by telling time, but by mastering it through precision, durability, and innovation. And that leads us naturally into the realm of luxury watches. Because at a certain point, watches stop being about necessity and start becoming symbols. Luxury watches are defined by detail. Hundreds of tiny components, often assembled by hand. Movements that take months to perfect. Materials chosen not just for function, but for beauty. Polished steel, sapphire crystal, gold, even diamonds. But what truly sets them apart is not just what you see, it's what you don't. The years of craftsmanship behind a single piece. The heritage of brands like Patek Philippe or Audemars Piguet. The idea that a watch isn't just worn, it's passed down from one generation to the next. These watches are built to outlive their owners. And that's why they cost what they do. Not because they tell time better, but because they carry meaning, history, and identity in a way few objects can. For some, it's a reward. For others, it's an investment. And for many, it's a lifelong passion. But while some watches look to the past, others are built for the future. Smartwatches completely redefine what a watch can be. Instead of gears and springs, they rely on processors and software. They track your steps, monitor your heart rate, analyze your sleep, display messages, and connect you to the digital world in ways traditional watches never could. With companies like Apple and Samsung leading the way, the watch transforms from a passive object into an active assistant that lives on your wrist. But in doing so, something changes. Smartwatches are powerful, but temporary. They age quickly. New models replace old ones. Software updates slow them down. Batteries degrade. Unlike mechanical watches, they are not built to last forever. They are built to evolve. And that creates an interesting contrast between something timeless and something constantly changing. And then there are watches designed not for style, but for survival. Tool watches. These are built with a purpose, where function always comes before form. Dive watches, for example, are engineered to withstand extreme underwater pressure. With high water resistance, luminous dials, and rotating bezels to track dive time, they are trusted by professionals in environments where precision can be a matter of life and death. Pilot watches take a different approach. Designed for aviation, they focus on clarity and readability. Large dials, bold numerals, and specialized features that allow pilots to read time instantly, even under pressure. Then there are field and sports watches, built for endurance. Shock resistance, rugged materials, and reliability. In extreme conditions, these watches are not about luxury. They are about trust. Because when everything else fails, these watches are expected to keep going. So what connects all of these watches together? Whether it's a simple quartz watch, a handcrafted mechanical piece, a luxury icon, or a smartwatch packed with features, they all serve the same basic purpose: to measure time. But how they do it, and what they represent, changes everything. A watch can be a tool, a statement, a piece of history, or a glimpse into the future. And maybe that's why watches have survived for so long. Even in a world where our phones can do the same job more efficiently. Because a watch doesn't just tell you the time. It tells you something about yourself, your taste, your priorities, your story. So now the question is, what kind of watch are you wearing? And more importantly, what does it say about you? Thanks for watching.